Good morning, everyone. Welcome into our Saturday morning coaches show. I'm Don Julian, and we're going to have a little bit different show today. We've got David Carrillo back with us, talk about Lady Cat softball, and also Tony Martinez. Oh, as my phone decides to ring here. Oh, that's Tony calling. I hope he's on his way. But anyway, we will be talking to Tony Martinez, and he'll be talking about Wildcats tennis. I hope again that he can make it today. And I did extend an invitation to Coach Jared Hammock, but he's got some things that he needs to attend to today. And well, I'm sorry, Tony. I'm going to have to turn you off here. There. Well, I don't think that did it either. Sorry about this, but usually don't get any phone calls, but that's odd to get one. But I don't know. Tony must be having some issues today. But anyway, we will during the break or something. I'll try to call him back and see what we can find out. As far as anything else going on, we pretty well took care of it this week in most other sports. So we took care of golf and track and some of those things. And the number of teams I'm covering now is down to just 6. And that includes 2 track teams and 2 golf teams. And we wrap them up this week, or at least for a while until they get ready for the next step. And so the only other thing to talk about is Wildcat baseball. And in lieu of not having Coach Hammock here today, I can tell you baseball played on Friday night at Lindale. They lost that game 4-1, and so the Wildcats continuing to struggle and hoping that they can pick up the pace this week with this crazy schedule that they've got this year with 3 rounds. They're playing a school twice a week now, and they'll do that for 3 more weeks of district play. There's 6 games still remaining, and they have a record of 2-7, so they're really going to have to start winning some games if they want to try to get into one of those playoff spots. But it is Greenville week for baseball, and they will have them. They'll be at Greenville on Tuesday, and then they will be here on Friday, and that'll be over at Wildcat Park. Also, next Saturday, they have a non-district game at Rowlett at 2 o'clock. So that's also on the varsity schedule. So that's baseball, and that's really the only other thing going. And now we have Coach David Carrillo. And Coach, what a week for the Lady Cats with 2 ball games where you had the 10-run rule. And you don't see that all that much. District teams are usually really, really tough, but the Lady Cats just had a big week hitting the ball this week.
Yeah, I thought after the Mount Pleasant game we had to kind of refocus and reevaluate the way we did things, and we put some things away. And actually, it's an old pitching machine we had. We were hitting off that a lot, and we just decided let's just go to good old-fashioned front toss and let our girls have some success on Monday. And I think they're ready to bury that thing because now that we got our hitting shoes on, we've been out there just doing what we do and kind of changed the way we did things and emphasize hitting a little bit more, making sure that they're successful in what they're doing. And I think it's paying off now. I challenged them, again, after that loss because it was pretty tough. But to come back and do what we did just shows the character of these kids. I always had faith in them, and I always knew that they could get the job done. And of course, I was just remembering Saturday, when you said the Lady Cats, you rarely ever say they did not hit, and
Right.
That's what happened last Friday, and they definitely had turned it up a notch this week.
Oh, I'd say so. Seemed like I know. I think we figured out maybe 11 hits last night, and 16 to 18, something like that.
Yeah.
The game before, just really, really hitting the ball well.
Yeah, like I look at Tuesday's game, Kelsey Wallace hits 2 home runs, Sierra Smith hits a home run, and then Brinkley hit one last night, and Maddie Millsap come through with the big one last night, and we're starting to, I think, see the ball a little bit better, now. And then I think being at home also helped, because it gets to be kind of a grind just going away and being at home, and they get excited to play for the fans, and I think that also has a big part of it, that just just the ability just to be at home. It's just more comforting for them.
Yeah, pretty good Royce City team. Had a pretty gaudy record. I remember the first time you played them. They're really struggling in district play. I think they're 1-5. The Lady Cats are 5-1, and also got some good news as Mount Pleasant, the one team to beat us, lost last night, and we are now in a first place tie.
Yes, in our district, I knew, you have to play every night, and I don't know exactly what happened over there, but Lindale's a very good team, so is Mount Pleasant, and it could go either way. We'll have that big showdown with Lindale next Friday, so you have to be ready to play. You have to take game by game, and after the Friday loss to Mount Pleasant, I had told them we're going to focus in and just take it game by game until we get to Mount Pleasant again. Hopefully that will be for the district championship, and that's why you play the game. So that being said, it's a dogfight, and we're going to worry about Greenville on Tuesday, definitely Lindale, and then you got the big Mount Pleasant game the next week. So it's happening fast and furious, but was I surprised? A little bit, but in our district, it's just a dogfight every game.
Right.
Everybody's got to play.
Absolutely. Tied for first place with Mount Pleasant. And,
we've also clinched not district championship, but a playoff spot with that win last night. And a lot of these girls, this program has done so well. We've been so blessed, and that's 13 years in a row, actually, or 12 years in a row, I believe. That's because we didn't go the first time. We went 12 years in a row. So that's a tribute to the community who brings these kids up to us, and the kids in which we have that's played for us. So it's been a blessing. So to be able to have an opportunity to know that we get to go on and play for a third season is a good comforting note. But you still have a goal for winning the district championship.
Yeah, way back in your very first season here in 07, seemed like you had some kind of a play-in game or something.
Yes,
and it didn't turn out well.
No, we were there. It just didn't work out. But that was a long time ago. But after that, it was weird because the kids that were coming back said this wouldn't happen again. And we're 12 years later, it hasn't. So it's a blessing.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking about, you talked about, you didn't name anybody twice when you were talking about people. Well, I guess Kelsey Wallace did hit a couple, but you have power up and down that order. And, I saw Nyla Lindley stepping up there last night during the game, and I remarked that she also has hit some balls out of the park this year. I mean, just from top to bottom, anybody can leave the yard with the ball.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe we have a very good hitting lineup 1 through 9. I just think part of the season, and even though our district's short, it is a long season to grind, and sometimes you just lose some focus, and slumps happen. And I just feel like that about the middle, we were kind of all in one. So usually it's one part, top part, back part, whatever, front part. But I think we're feeling our groove right now. So I feel really good about the direction we're heading now, going into our last 4 games, and just clinching that spot to be in the playoffs was a great opportunity and blessing that we get to go on. I've seen some great things, and there's things that I was just talking about last night that actually didn't even just deal with the pitching that like Bailey Haggerty does and or Addison Cadell when they're in there, or the hitting. And there's unsung heroes all across the board, because I look at little things too. Is like the night that Sierra Smith had on Tuesday. I still are watching those highlights out in the field. She made some amazing plays on Tuesday night. Last night, or even all year, Abby Bear. She's a pinch runner or courtesy runner, and that girl gets it. She can score from anywhere. When she's going, it's hard to slow her down. And she's another one that I so look up to her, because I know when she's going out on the field that something's going to happen, because that's just the kind of kid she is. And we're so blessed to have her. She's just a weapon. And it's like when you see her out there, you go, I don't know what Abby's going to do, but I'm sure it's going to be aggressive, because that's all she does. She just goes all out. So again, those little things like that you have to look at, and those are the kids right there that also contribute, and you're just proud to see them do what they do and accept their role and get after it.
Yeah, you talk about Abby Bear. It reminds me of a famous, I'm sure he stole it from somebody, but a Jared Hammock quote: "Speed never slumps."
Speed never, no, it does not. There was last night a situation where there was going to be a play at the plate. I honestly didn't think Abby could get there, but in Abby's mind, she thought she could, and she did. It's just hard when she's moving to slow her down because she's so aggressive, and she just plays her role well. And I don't think really people realize how valuable that is to have someone like that to be able to do those kind of things. It's very rare that you find someone like that. So Abby, my hat's off to you. I love that girl, and she, again, just a total team player and creates things. She makes it tough for the defense because of how aggressive she is on the bases.
All right, Coach. Let's take our first internal break here with Coach David Carrillo, and we'll come back with more right after this. And back here on the Saturday morning coaches show, talking about Lady Cat softball. Again, a big 12-2 win against Royce City. That was in Lady Cat Park last night. Enjoyed doing that game, and we appreciate Royce City. They allowed us to live stream that ball game, and even back into Royce City and, well, anywhere on the face of the earth, I guess, the World Wide Web. We sometimes had trouble convincing Mr. Bradford that they really could watch you in India and China when we were doing stuff like that. Maybe, I guess, unless somehow they figured a way to block that stuff. But anyway, it's kind of an interesting deal, and we certainly appreciate them doing that. And nice coach, Coach Kirkendall.
Oh, he's awesome guy.
City.
I've known him for a few years. He's just a great guy. We're really blessed in our district to have just, everybody that we have. We all pretty much get along, just good people, and he's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Well, every time I ask you about a coach, that's the first thing. He's a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure when they talk about David Carrillo, they say he's a good guy too.
I hope so.
I bet they do. Now this week, you've got a couple of more very important games when you're tied for first. They're all important. But go at Greenville on Tuesday, and then Lindale here on Friday night.
Yes, the next 2 weeks is this is it. You got to get ready to get after it. I challenged him. It was weird because right before we started district, it was right before we started. That was the Paris game. I counted up on the calendar. I don't even know why I looked, and I said 30 days. And I said, girls, we have 30 days together left, guaranteed. After that, we don't know what's going to happen. But I said, it's not just about 30 days. It's what happens within those 30 days. And, we're going to go back and reflect and look what happened. And some amazing things have happened so far. And we just got to keep going. Especially the seniors, they know that, hey, this is it. This is, some of them are never going to play again. And the whole family thing too is, I always tell them, especially with this group, they're a very special group. These 10 seniors that we have, they've been around the program for 4 years. They're all awesome kids, great kids, and it's sad to know that after this is done, I tell them, because we've been seniors before. It's not going to be the same. Everybody's going to go their separate ways. You're not going to sit down and hang out with them all the time. You're not going to be together as this group all the time, and it's different. And you're going to wish these times come. Trust me, there's times I wish I could hang around my high school buddies like it used to be, because you just got the hustle and bustle of the world. But again, I want to make sure it's a good time for them, and I want to make sure they understand that don't take it for granted, because again, this doesn't come back, and this season doesn't come back. So I think our girls are focused and ready, and we're hopefully going to finish out strong.
You think about, first of all, the Greenville game, kind of a pesky little team. And with a pitcher that's had a pretty good track record against us on their field over there, they're probably going to be pretty tough.
She is pesky. She's been around 4 years. I keep hoping she graduates, because that's the girl that we kind of struggle with her sometimes. So, again, we're going to go over there and hopefully take care of some business. I know we play better with them, it seems like, over there than we do over here. So hopefully we'll be able to take care of some business. And, there's something everybody's going to have to deal with next week. It's the testing. That is an intangible, because sometimes kids, when they get out of there, they feel like their brain is melted. So you have to make sure you work like on how you practice. Going to go play a game or whatever. Just make sure you get them refocused, because I know when you're taking a standardized test or even giving it mentally drains you. You just because you're sitting in a room. Some of them feel that pressure too, and it's hard. So, we just got to adjust. And every softball team in the state of Texas is going to have to do it. So,
sure.
It is what it is. But that does play a factor, I think, too, because I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were just talking about the travel. Like, I don't even think they're going to get to play a JV game because of the travel so far, because the testing, they can't get out early. So,
Right.
that being said, so it's going to be a different week than a normal week because of the testing. But we'll adjust, and hopefully we'll be ready to play.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is kind of just one of those things but like you mentioned, it's not like it's just a Sulphur Springs thing. This is going on everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Every team has to,
Yeah.
every school has to deal with this.
Yeah, and first thing coaches say is just an adjustment mentally of because
Right.
everybody likes routine, and when you shove things get out of routine, people kind of spaz out sometimes. So we hope we can just basically stay in our routine and do what we need to do to win the next two games, and then next week we'll take care of the next two. So hopefully we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I still remember when I was a college freshman and had exams coming up and had three major exams. I mean, we're not talking about tennis or PE. I had a lot of tennis and PE with Coach Martinez here, but these were like English and history and all this kind of stuff with a lot of writing involved. I think each of them was about 3 hours. I think I spent about 9 hours in testing, and I was pretty much vegetated by the end of that.
Yeah, I think it's that like that for everybody. There's just sometimes in the middle of it you just want to scream and then let it out and then go back and take your test. But it is the way it is. But like I said, we'll get it all figured out and see what we need to do just to mentally prepare ourselves for the next two games this week.
And we've talked a lot about the hitting, and you alluded to Bailey Haggerty and just what a good job she continues to do. Kind of we've seen her sharper than last night, but at the same time, she would get into some difficulty and work her way out of it. Most of the time, she got 2 runs they gave up. I think maybe only 1 was earned, and a lot of errors in that ball game last night.
There was, and we kind of went back and looked at the field just to make sure what's going on. But there were a lot of good plays last night, but there were a lot of errors last night on both teams. So that's just, again, we'll just have to keep on working. When you have slappers on your team, as many as Roy City had, or lefties, it creates a lot of issues because, one, they get a faster track to first base, and two, they can do a lot of things slapping. They can soft slap, they can try to pop it over your head, they can bunt, whatever. So it makes you have to think, and you have to be a lot quicker in reacting and getting the ball out of your glove and making a play. So that right there, just seeing a lefty kind of creates some issues. But we'll just continue to go back to work and work on our work on the short game and try to get better at it.
Yeah, the article in the Dallas Morning News and told me something that I really hadn't thought before. I've seen quite a bit of college softball, but I never did realize that in the college game, if you touch the ball and you're out of the batter's box, you're out of
Yes,
it.
it is.
And of course, in high school, that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
The players are running as they're hitting, and some of them look like they're halfway down to
Yeah,
first base
and
by the time it hits the ground.
It gets tougher too when you're playing on a field and the umpire, your batter's box most likely your JV's played and it's probably gone, so they have to make a pretty good judgment call on that sometimes. So it's tough for the umpire, it's tough for the batter too, and if they can get any kind of advantage, they're going to. That's just, it just creates it. It makes it a faster game, and in a fielder, you got to get it out and take care of business, or they're going to be sitting there safe at first. Another thing I was thinking about too when you're speaking about Bailey is I think Brinkley Driver's done an outstanding job at catcher because she's smart, and a pitcher needs a smart catcher, and she can go out there and they talk. I watch them communicate, and Brinkley just has that way of getting her calmed down and talking about the game because she's smart and they both know about the game. But just having that good quality catcher up there to mentally help your pitcher also plays a big factor in our game.
Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate your time on Saturday. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing, and you'll be doing them as you walk out the door.
Yeah, today is I'm going to mow the grass before it rains duty day.
Good idea, good plan.
So I actually started, my socks are wet, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the job when I get home.
All right. And then as you hit the ground running next week, you'll be back into softball mode. Of course, I'm not sure you leave that mode too much. You're thinking about it all the time.
I think about it a lot, so it stays with me. So, but I love the game. I do, and it just stays with me. You're always trying to figure out a way to get better or a way to help your kids become more successful at what they do.
All right, very good. Yeah, it's a joy to watch the Lady Cats play, and a good group this year. 5-1 in district play and 19-5 on the verge of another 20-win season.
Yes.
Should happen this next week, we hope, with big games again at Greenville on Tuesday, and then Lindale at Lady Cat Park on Friday night.
Yes, and if you get a chance, come watch them, y'all. This is a good group, and they deserve your support. They've been outstanding for 4 years, and it's just a good group of kids, and you want to see those stands full, and they love it when people come out and watch.
Yeah, they have good crowds always, and I'm sure they'll just get bigger and bigger as we move toward playoffs now that we've clinched a spot.
Make sure you stop by the concession stand too.
There's
There's a little
paid announcement there, or unpaid, I guess in this case. David, thanks again so much.
Thank you.
And that's our softball report, and Tony Martinez is here to talk about Wildcats tennis right after this break. And back here on the Saturday morning coaches show, we've got some calls from you earlier, and you've had an interesting morning to say the least.
Oh yes, that had a flat tire. So,
oh my goodness!
But we've got it all taken care of, so we're good. We're good to go.
All right, yeah. Nothing like a little bit of excitement on a Saturday morning.
Definitely, So it's good though.
All right, Tony Martinez, fifth year for you, Tony, is it?
Yes. This is the 5th year.
And so just wrapped up the 5th year and looking forward to the future. And has the future ever looked brighter with you here at Sulphur Springs as far as the future of this tennis program?
No. This is going to be, I felt like my highlight here is coming year, because a lot of the kids, we have like 7 senior boys, and I've had all those boys since the 7th grade.
Now they'll be seniors next year.
Next
you're
year,
talking about.
right?
You're
next
already
year.
looking ahead.
Yeah, I'm already looking ahead.
You've already promoted them.
And I've already promoted them. As for next year, I mean, we sat down yesterday when we put the numbers on the board, and this is the biggest numbers that we've had coming in. As for the varsity and tennis team, where you have 16 or 17 boys and about another 16 girls. We have not had those numbers since I've been here. I'm lucky if I get 1 girl each year for maybe the freshmen to move in. This year we have a good core of 4 freshman girls who have been playing lights out tennis, for freshmen, and we can't imagine what they're going to be like their junior and senior year. But they have been competing in the varsity level these last 6 months. And I'm real happy with that. That's what makes any coach happy, when you see positive production from freshman kids that come out there. And then I've got another freshman boy. Then our JV is loaded with about 4 or 5 freshmen, and they're all coming along in the last 5 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch. You can kind of look at 2 different aspects: the guys and the girls on the team. The guys, what was it, a couple of years ago, were they all sophomores
Yes.
when they kind of arrived on the scene?
Right.
Think of guys like Jonah Kirkpatrick,
Logan Schumacher, Aaron Lucas,
Right.
and Jordan Gonzalez.
Yeah.
All those 4 have been just climbing the stairs, to success each and every year. So I've been really happy. And then a big surprise for this year was Michael McCord.
Right.
McCord.
Now he will be a senior also.
He
next
will
year?
also be a senior.
He'll be
next
joining
year.
that group then.
Right.
All of them.
And he missed a year his freshman year because he was in the Philippines.
Oh,
He moved
okay.
away for a year, but then he returned to us. But what he picked up this past year is just amazing. He's really an exciting player to watch, and he could move in, and just some practice matches he's been able to stay with Jonah Kirkpatrick. So all these guys are planning, making plans for this summer. As the district was over and we had a talk, I mean, they're planning to play in May and June. I mean, they're excited, and they know what they can do, and they know how close we are to the T-High and Lindale teams, that we can compete with these guys next year. So they know what they have to do, and that's really usually hard to convey to your program and to your players, what work has to be put in. And so they just know they're, a few months away from catching up with these guys, to participate with them.
Yeah, you kind of, I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but this Lucas and Schumacher doubles team, really took a giant stride this year, where they were just at the top of the pack almost every week they played.
And you have to do different team combinations. Last year it was Gonzalez and Schumacher, and and I had Aaron Lucas playing singles last year, or he played mixed doubles is what he did last year in the spring. But the mixed doubles really helped his doubles here in the boys division. He was able to work on his game even in mixed doubles. So that was a good combination right now. And then, like I said, Jordan Gonzalez and Mikey, McCord, they have really come on strong too as another two doubles team. So I don't know what the combination could be next year. I'm hoping maybe just keep them the same and hopefully they'll just keep practicing. But it's nice to have two dual, combinations of doubles teams like this, to go through our senior year with.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun to watch all those guys. And let's go ahead and take our third and last internal break. We'll do that and be back with Tony Martinez more right after this. Back here on the Saturday Morning Coaches Show with Coach Tony Martinez, and he's telling me about his exciting plans for the next few weeks, and it's going to keep him quite busy. But we're talking about Wildcats tennis. We talked about the guys a little bit and a really, really good, strong set of seniors coming up. Now let's talk about those freshman girls a little bit more. Just the four of them, just incredible players, and just have had some wonderful accomplishments this year.
They really have. The girls' doubles teams of Paige, Missy, and Savannah Lilly.
Right.
They have really taken off this year. I mean, they've won medals in first place, second place, third place. And they're just still learning, and they're still a process that we can't imagine what they're going to be like in the next, 2 to 3 years. Very competitive. It's what you look for in players. They picked it up, and when you sit there and look at them, they're not laughing or giggling like you have other freshman girls from other teams, and you'll see out there where they're just having fun. Mine have just, gotten serious about the game. We played some tough matches against Greenville the last 2 weeks. Where one out in Denton, Texas, we played last week, and the girls were down, but they had to go 3 sets with them, and they beat them. And then they had to play them again in district in the second round, and they took them pretty handily this time, like 6-2 or 6-3. So very happy with them. Emily Dick, another young girl, got second place this week in the district tournament in the JV division. I played her back a little bit where she could get some experience. And the experiences that happened in the semifinals, she had to play T-high girl. Now, everybody's expectations when you're playing T-high, like I don't have a chance, or, it's been the negative top factor coming in. This girl doesn't know who T-high is as a freshman. She's just going out there to play.
Right.
And she did play, and she won her match.
Oh, good.
And that's great. When we can beat T-high, that's a big, I guess, for us, it's a party time on the tennis team there. Then she ended up falling to a really good girl from Lindale. But his score was 8-4, 8-5. But she was there. She was playing the match, and she did stay with the young girls. So we're, looking at good things from Emily Dick coming up this next year. I think she's going to be a great asset to our varsity tennis team. I mean, she was this whole year. She played mixed doubles, and she played wherever we needed her at. So then top it off, we have Jolie Cantu.
Right.
Jolie's out playing a tournament out in Fort Worth, Texas this morning.
Oh, good.
And she's one of those girls who does take it a little bit more serious. I mean, she wants to play in college, and I'm hoping the other girls will get that type of attitude and want to go play in some college tennis. But she's been at it since the 7th and 8th grade, playing tournaments week in and week out of the school program thing. She's doing her own thing. And so this weekend she is out in Fort Worth competing, and she's got another tournament next weekend where she'll be competing also. So happy with these 4 girls, and like I said, it's a good core to start with. I had the 8th graders, they've come out here and they visited and they meet them, and they want to be part of this for the next year. So that also, when you can have 4, and these are good girls, I mean, that's even the top of the line. They're very sweet, very professional, their character is just unprofound, just top of the line. So this is the kind of kids that you dream for, coaches dream for, and especially have them for the next 3 years.
And you're losing only one senior. You are very proud of her in the district tournament, Zoe Wilson.
Zoe Wilson played a tough match. She's been playing tough for us all year. She's lettered. She's medaled throughout the season. And I've had her since the beginning, also since the 8th grade, and it's going to be hard for me to say goodbye to her. I'm very happy for her. She'll be attending. She's got a scholarship, academic scholarship. She'll be attending Baylor University in the fall, and so. But she's very thankful for what she's got to do, and just one of those good kids also that I was very fortunate to get to work with. To me, it's a blessing for me, to work with these kind of kids, but I learn a lot from them too. And so, like I said, she had her heart set, and she, set her goals high, and she's obtained them and stuff like that. When you get to go, of course, to Baylor University, a great institution, then we're all happy for her.
Well, good for her. One of the things we were kind of hinted at that you're going to be quite busy, and this is probably maybe something that you were kind of getting started, and that's the middle school tennis program, and not just teaching those students and having the classes and all that. But this is actually competition that you're setting up with other middle school programs from other schools.
When I first got here, a lot of the schools in the area did not have middle school 5 years ago. Tyler Lee, John Tyler, Pine Tree. None of these coaches had any middle school, so I really had no one to compete against for the first 2 to 3 years. Really, I had to just do inter-squad tournaments, gold against the blue, type of deal. But now they're more in the last year, I'll say this past year, all the schools have now kind of formulated where they have developed middle school programs. So now we're getting into where we're playing and we're in competition. Usually it would just be one tournament we'd go to over in Princeton where he had everybody in East Texas show up. But now I'm hosting a tournament May the 4th. We're going to Pine Tree, we're going to Van, and so Mount Pleasant, Greenville, they're developing their middle school programs. So now and this is what you have to do to get your high school programs. You've got to get these kids at this time and get them competing. And once they, get the bug, what we say, if they start winning and get a trophy in their hand or get a medal in their hand, normally these kids are ready to, keep going.
All right. Isn't it great to have the Wildcat Tennis Center to where now, since you got that, you have been actively recruiting and, to have your setting up your own tournaments, and we've got the Sulphur Springs tournament, and, and now we host a district competition. I can't remember if we've ever done that before.
Well, they really haven't done it before because of the lack of the courts.
Sure.
And, a lot of schools, it didn't ever fall our way at that time for the 2 years or so. T. High was the district chair. This year, really, Lindale was the district chair, but we fought to get this a year before they brought the Lindale into the district, so we were already awarded this. And after talking to all the coaches this year, and new coaches, it felt like this is the more center part for Royce City and Greenville and Lindale to come here, rather than all of us, if we had to go to T High, then we all have to go out to Arkansas, area.
Sure.
Then if Lindale hosts it, then they, T High has to drive all the way over this way. So we felt like this is going to be maybe the central point of location. I think this could be voted on, hopefully for the next year or two, to be held here.
All right. Something near and dear to your heart, also to your wife's heart, would be Can Help. And you have, I guess, is that next Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
Not this Saturday, but next
Saturday, April the 13th. And you can still join up and sign. We have some open spots, but we really are getting full, and that's a good thing. We have the advanced team, and there's like 12 teams, 13 teams, or 14 now, so there's still 2 spots to fill in 16 teams for the advanced tournament. And the same way with the intermediates and the beginners, just to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to play in it for the first time, and I'm playing with a dear friend of mine that we played together 40 years ago, and we were playing for 5 to 6 years together as a doubles partner. And he's agreed to come on out of retirement after 5 or 6, 7 years to come on out here and have fun with us. But now I have a lot of friends, the coaches from Tyler Lee, the coaches from John Tyler. They are also participating in the tournament. So, and then the other good thing is the beauty of it, what I love, a lot of my ex-players are participating, and I have Tyler Stout, Jasmine, Johnson, Alex Benitez, guys they're all coming back to play in this tournament. So we're very happy, but it is also for a good cause,
right.
So we're happy with this. So hopefully everything will turn. We're getting all set, and and I think the weather's going to be good for us too. We had great weather here, and just like I said, first of all, to thank our administrator staff, Coach Owens, Mr. Lamb. They also have been out there, but for us to have this beautiful complex, a lot of people have come to see this, and and they're still talking about how beautiful this thing is, and it really is, and those are great positive comments. So but want to thank the administration, want to thank the school board, want to thank everybody have really helped us to get this going. And so, like I said, it took a little bit longer than I expected. I thought I could do this in 3 years, but the 5th year, the 6th, we're still climbing the stairs. And that's there's no, we haven't had to sit back on this program. Everything is going, still straight up to success.
Well, I can still remember, contacting you in August, and you'd say, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got 3 girls or something, and I need 6 or 7, and just don't know. And we thank those 2 seniors that just volunteered to come out and actually won some matches. But at the same time, and like now you talk about, having 16 guys or something. It's just, that is so different, to where, you go to a team tennis match and you have to give away a few points because you don't have the competitors to compete with the other team.
No, well, we're for Jasmine's one of those. Jasmine Cruz is one of those girls playing in that Can Help tournament, but it's true. Like I said, I feel like we wrote up the names, and I know I've got 8 freshman girls coming in for next year, and 3 or 4 I think will be ready to participate. And that's what that's the beauty of where you can have 8 to 12, 10 girls there. And some just keep working at it a little bit harder, to make the team. And now they, it's not where it's like a club where, hey, we come out, we're just going to be. No, we're working out, and you have accountability where, you have to be at practice. You have to be, be there. We have these suicides where, if they miss or they take off from work or they do. I couldn't do that 2 or 3 years ago because, then your team you wouldn't have a team.
Yeah.
But now you have, what I call leverage, where, hey, the players do want to be there and they know what they have to do, and it's called commitment. If they want to be part of the, a winning program, and they have to commit themselves to the program also.
It always seemed that way to me, that tennis was just kind of an activity, and you kind of showed up when you wanted to, and if I don't feel like playing today, may not go show up, and that doesn't get you anywhere. That's that's tough to build a program when you've got those kind of things going on. But that seems like the past, and thank goodness for that.
No, it is. Like I try to tell, I try not to tell to make it to like football. But if the guy is sick or you're not there for a day or 2, that starting quarterback may not start on Friday night. And the same thing, I couldn't do that here, but now I can. If you're not here for this practice, then you may not start. You may go with the team, but that doesn't guarantee you that you're going to play. And that's how I've been handling it this year, and I know I'm going to handle that here now for the future with the numbers. Like I said, you could, be here and just be accountable. Make sure you're showing up. And, I'm trying not to make this just a club. This is usually what you get stereotyped as, hey, we're just a club type deal. No, I'm looking to also build character and have success with the program too. So that's what that's what we're looking for, and that's kind of the philosophy I'm looking at.
Yeah, you're always looking to build the person rather, than the tennis player and the person really, and kind of instill some values in them, to keep fighting and, not give up and, and those sort of things. And, conducting yourself, with the right demeanor and everything, where you're not showing up the opposition and that sort of thing, kind of teaching life lessons.
Right, right, and that's what all tennis is about. It's just life lessons. Everything's not going to happen. You're not going to get into the college you want to get to, but is that going to keep you from going to college? You're not going to get the car your parents want to give you, but is that going to keep you from driving? So I use these also. You may not get to play, but is that going to keep you from playing tennis? No. That's the thing. If you lose a match, is that going to stop you from playing tennis? No. It's how you pick yourself up, the old Rocky Balboa type deal. The character is how you pick yourself up and go forward. And that's what I've always believed in. It's like I want to see how the resilience of a player is going to be the way their character is and how they're going to be in life. And that's what we try to teach there. That's the bottom line with me, is what we're trying to teach the players, that tennis is just like life.
Yeah, very exciting to watch, Tony. To watch the way you built the team and just the results and to see the difference over the 5 years. So good stuff, and look for more of the same.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. That's going to do it for this Saturday morning. And thank you for joining us today. I'm Don Julian, and so long, everybody.